Soul chaser. Soul chaser.
Hang on. Oh, sorry. I gotta climb the elevator. Sorry. Anyways, welcome back, everybody, to some State Esports. Get excited. That elevator. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Loud, proud. Gotta make it real. Is everybody there? I hope so. Well, anyways, welcome back to some State Esports. My name is Turner, also known as the one and only
Wyatt, aka Libby Baby, finally back with some Overwatch. It's been too long. It's not been as long as some other games, but it's been too long, even though it's Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean,
it's been too long for me.
It has been a while. Yeah, it kind of gets to that point where it's like, I need some Ball State Overwatch in my life.
It's like,
and right now, we're getting back into the swing of things, getting excited for it, and we are absolutely going to sweep tonight. I know it's a little bit early for predictions, but hey, that's mine. So let's go ahead and get into what this says. I think we just have, welcome back, intros over and over again until we get to this week's matches. So I know we already had Tuesday, Wednesday. We followed it with some Overwatch Rocket League. We're following it up again with some Overwatch, a doubleheader this week. I believe next week is also going to be a doubleheader based on what I've seen already. But again, a little bit spoiler action right there. Doubleheaders every week. Ooh, fancy. Anyways, but yeah, so we've got tonight's matches. I believe we are up against NIU, with NIU dropping out of the competition of the ESC. We don't actually have that up against us. The reigning champs that were last semester's ESC champs, we just have NIU now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, kind of that sweep mentality is what you're aiming for. If the only team that knocked us out of it isn't present anymore, then I'm not entirely sure what's stopping us now.
Yeah, you don't want to wish for no competition. You like competition, but with the reigning champs dropping out, it's kind of like, who is going to rise up to? Oh, the lights are on now. It's like, who is going to rise up to kind of take on? I mean, Ball State, that kind of makes us almost like the dominant force in this conference so far, unless another team takes a huge step up to kind of rival Ball State, step up to that NIU level that they were, like we said, the reigning champs.
Yeah.
The only team to beat Ball State last year, and it was in the finals. So Ball State looking pretty good, honestly. I mean, if you were betting on it, I would bet Ball State to be your champions. Maybe a little early, but you never know.
We got a lot of trophies over
Got
there.
a lot of trophies. Would love to add to it. So
we got an entire shelf still.
Yeah, and there's even more on the table.
There's more on the table.
We're running out of room. We need another trophy shelf.
I think so. I mean, hopefully. And I've heard we're getting a whiteboard, so maybe we can just start drawing trophies on it. If we run out of room, just start drawing like unphysical trophies just on it.
Yeah, just start drawing trophies. So we were out of room for the real trophies. They're in a closet somewhere. Here are pictures of the trophies we actually have.
Speaking of stuff in a closet, our closet back there is full of stuff. A lot of stuff in that closet.
A lot of stuff in the closet.
Austin, I feel so bad for you, but you got it, man. I believe in you. But yeah, next up we got the rosters, I believe. So I think normally just start out with Ball State's roster. I believe we got a little graphic for that over on that screen coming up soon. I don't know if graphics are broken still or not. Nope, doesn't seem like it. Okay. Oh, well, this is okay. So we got tonight's matches, or the recap, I guess, a little bit of it. So yeah, tonight, NIU starts at 8 is game time. As we said earlier, and as you can see right now, we've got, on Tuesday was WMU, Wednesday was again WMU in both leagues, in both games, and we're switching it up to NIU for tonight. These graphics just get better and better every year.
They do. This is a really nice graphic. And yeah, it's been a pretty successful week for Ball State Esports with the Rocket League team completing 2 3-0 sweeps on WMU. And that is both rosters, red and black, against WMU in different conferences. And Tuesday, I believe it was a 3-1 on WMU.
We dropped one.
We did drop a game, which is rare.
Yeah.
But it did happen. I heard some debating in the Discord server.
I did see a lot of debating in the Discord server.
About that one game drop, so they're not going to want to drop a game tonight, for sure.
But yeah, so I know we've got what we did in the past. We've got rosters that we can also show. I believe we did switch up the roster a little bit. I believe we have 2 new additions, and then we switched up the coach slot.
Yes.
And so our coach is a player now, and one of the players from last semester is the coach. So we also, and then at the same time we have 2 new players as well. So I guess a total of 3 new players. I believe we still have, it's Bordy, Alphabet. Otta is the coach. Otta is the player who was the coach. And then I'm not sure who the 2 new members are. I haven't actually had a roster in front of me yet, so I'm not sure entirely who they are. I got to get used to that again. But do you know who they are?
I'm not sure of exactly who the new players are. I do believe we still have Droid as well.
I know we have like a total of 6 because we have some subs.
Yeah, and then
do we actually have a graphic to throw up for the rosters? I hope we do, because that would fill the dead air a little bit.
Yeah, I do know that we have some new members. I have seen them around the Esports Center. I know that there are some of these guys. I've heard them talk about Rocket League. Overwatch. They're extremely passionate about this game, and yeah, and then our new coach would be Spencer, who was one of our DPS players. DPS, man, I'm all over the place. Support players from last year.
Because Otta took the main support slot, and so, which I think I've heard Otta has been playing. What's the new hero, like Wu Yang?
Wu Yang, yes.
An interesting hero, to say the least. But yeah, we do have, I believe, the rosters ready to go, so we can go ahead and throw those up there just to fix the issues that we've got. So yeah, it's Otta in the support slot. We still have Alphabet, Bordy. I believe Bordy is still on DPS. Mon Noah is one of the new ones. I definitely don't recognize that name. And then Mech as well. I don't remember that, but Droid and Ghost, definitely remember those 2 names. So it looks like we've got 5 recognizable, 2 that are new, bringing the roster up to a total of 7. I believe that's what we had last semester as well. So yeah, this is again the red roster. This is not our black roster. And then the coach there being Spencer. So rounding it off, a total of 8 members. I don't think Spencer is allowed to play, but if they do ever need a sub back in, and when they change if we ever change back over like conference wise, I think they might be able to just throw Spencer back in, and maybe Otta will take the reins once again. But at the current moment, they switched the roles a little bit around there, and we see now Otta in that main support, Spencer in that coach slot. And I believe that's what Spencer was on. I think Otta took Spencer's role.
Yes, I do believe that is what happened. Interesting situation, honestly. The coach becomes the player becomes the coach.
Well, I mean, if you're going to coach, you better be able to be a player.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely I mean, Otta, maybe somebody bet Otta money that they need to They need to be able to play the game. And Otta said, you know what? I'm down for that. Give me the role. And then we got him in the support slot now. So, yeah. I think we have... Do we have roster? I think we have a little showing for... Yeah, we do have NIU's roster. Okay. So we've got Allegro. I think I recognize that name as well.
I believe I do as well.
Azalea Cat, I don't. Fear Safe, I also don't. Gooby, I don't as well. Major Cow, I don't think I recognize, but PK0 also seems like a recognizable name. They have Wit, and then I don't know if TBD is to be determined or if TBD is their name. If it's up there, I doubt we left a to be determined up there, but I guess it's possible. And then their captain, they don't have a coach, but they do have a captain. Their captain is Allegro. Again, that name that we recognize. So I think so far NIU definitely switched a few things up in terms of their roster, but it does look like they have, if TBD is a name and not to be determined, then they have also a total of 8 members comparatively to Ball State's 8. But if that is to be determined and not TBD, then they are down 1 compared to Ball State. Although, again, Ball State only has 7 playable members compared to the 8 that they have in total with the coach slot. And then if TBD is a player, then it looks like NIU has 1 up on the players. So if they do need to swap over a few things when it comes down to like putting in subs, I guess they have a little bit of an up over Ball State there.
Yeah, Ball State, pretty well known, I'd say, for having players to switch out. We did that quite a bit last year with switching out.
TBD is not a player.
Oh, TBD is actually not a player.
I assume that stands for to be determined then. And
so is there an alleged 8th player on the NIU Esports roster?
That's a great question.
Yeah, so they maybe even on players, maybe not even on players, but yeah, Ball State does have people that they like to switch out and around. I know Alphabet usually, at least in terms of last semester, Alphabet didn't always play every single game. He would kind of come in when we needed him. They're probably going to switch that up. I don't say. I'm sure that they have definitely stuck with that strategy, and everyone's going to kind of fall into place as where it was last year with certain people filling gaps. I'm sure that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. I guess it could be even, or there could be some unknown 8th player on
I mean, when it comes to rosters, you want to substituting people in and substituting people out is not only because you want to bring someone new in because they haven't had playtime, but it's also because bringing in that new person means that you can all of a sudden have somebody new that you have to adapt to. If you're playing, say, for example, someone who's really good with Kiri, Ana, Lucio, and all of a sudden, like, Ana swaps in and you have a Wu Yang, well, 1, you have to play differently because it's a different character with different abilities, and 2, you have to play differently because it's a different player in general. You have a new person on the enemy team that you have to adapt to and how they play the game, because you might have a very aggressive support in that spot, and I know the availability and the abilities that these heroes have at Overwatch can really change the game, especially with if you bring out something like an Ana, well, all of a sudden that can shut down a lot of different things. It might force you to counter swap, especially if they bring out, you expect to see a Kiriko. So one of Ana's probably biggest counters is just Kiri in general, and she doesn't have a movement ability, so dive is pretty harsh against her. But I know handling different players, different abilities, different characters is something that you have to master to be able to get around the fact that it's something new and something that is changing, and anything that changes you have to adapt to.
Yeah, and speaking of all the different heroes in Overwatch and metas and all these type of things, we do have a hero highlight this week. I believe it is going to be Wrecking Ball, because I think, though I kind of expected it to be one of the newer characters like Rhea or Wu Yang, I think it's Wrecking Ball because he has kind of inserted himself back into a bit of a meta position. I mean, Dive is always meta. That's just kind of how it is. Dive is just really good. The only time that Dive isn't good is when the team is actively trying to counter Dive. So we're probably going to get looking at Wrecking Ball here pretty soon. Okay, so we're having a bit of a graphics issue, I've heard. I can talk a lot about Wrecking Ball. I have played him a lot. I know that he's changed a little bit, but essentially he is one of the highest. He is the highest movement tank in the game. He is extremely fast. If you don't know anything about him, he's a hamster.
He is a hamster.
And
he's in a ball.
He's in a giant robot ball. And he has a grappling hook that he can use. Here we go, looking at him right now. As you can see, he has a grappling hook, and as he builds more momentum, he can actually do some knock damage. He has that nice down attack, as you just saw. He can kind of switch between this sort of rolling mode for a lot of speed, as well as coming into this mode for like gunshots and actual combat. This is kind of what you're doing at upper range. And then he has this shield ability that gives him a little bit more extra health, which just, you know, what you need in team fights. He also has a way to, like, unless they switched it recently, I know recently they changed his character where he could spread shield to his teammates as well to try to kind of make him a little bit more viable, because he really left the team hanging there for a little while in terms of meta. And then we just see his ult, which basically scatters landmines around a certain area. They do a lot of damage, and it's really good if you're in the middle of a huge team fight and you just ult out of nowhere. So yeah, Wrecking Ball, very heavy dive hero, very fast character, and kind of sort of inserting himself back into a meta position. He's been not the greatest tank for a long time. It's been a while.
It's less of being the greatest tank and being able to play him as the greatest tank. When it comes to handling Wrecking Ball, again, dive is very, it's a comp, so your team needs to be playing around it, and a lot of the times right now what you have cemented in the meta is, I mean, Sojourn's been there forever. I know Bordy plays a little bit of Genji Tracer, so while Ball State themselves have dive in their back pocket to kind of get in, get out, a lot of teams may not necessarily know the best way to play against dive, and sometimes there's just too much counter to dive that it just isn't worth it, and especially with Wrecking Ball. If they have something like an Ana to sleep, if they have like a Roadhog to pull, a Sombra to hack, anything against that kind of counters Wrecking Ball specifically, you kind of have a tank who gets in and then is just a giant target, literally a circle of a giant target, because he's massive. Wrecking Ball in his gun form is just huge. And if you are able to shut down his movement, his one thing that is like his entire character defining trait, then all of a sudden you just paint yourself as the hey shoot me guy. So you need to be able to be flexible in your dive. You also need to have a team that's able to support you in a moment's notice. I know having something like maybe a Life Weaver in your back pocket to try and take a Wrecking Ball out of a bad spot if they do get slept, hacked, Rhine slammed, hooked, any of the things could be useful. But then again, you're submitting your team to play specifically around one character who has so many counters that maybe it's just not worth it to play. And I know that's why, or that might be why Overwatch decided to try and tweak him just a little bit to try and allow him to play a little bit more with the team and not so far away from them that it requires a whole team composition to be brought to the table basically just for Wrecking Ball to be viable.
Yeah, another thing that has, I think, helped out Wrecking Ball a little bit is, I'm not 100% sure if they're playing with him tonight, but hero bans. That's a thing that they've added recently in comp. You can ban people like Sombra, who is terrible for Wrecking Ball, because if you hack Wrecking Ball as Sombra, he can't go into ball form, and that just nerfs him so bad. Like, he can't, like you said earlier, if you take him out of ball form as he's trying to attack, he's slow, he's massive, he's just going to become an instant target. Everyone's going to say, Sombra's going to call out, ball's hacked, and everyone's just going to target the Wrecking Ball. So hero bans have probably helped him out quite a bit. So maybe we're going to see some ball tonight, I'm assuming, because we did ask the players who they thought we should highlight, and they said Wrecking Ball. So I'm going to assume that we're going to see some Wrecking Ball play tonight.
It's possible, but then again, there's a lot of things against playing Wrecking Ball. And there's a lot of things playing for Wrecking Ball, and a lot of those things kind of collide with one another to a point where, is it worth it? Do the pros outweigh the cons? And that's kind of what you have to look at in team compositions to decide at all who you want to play. And that's why hero swapping is so important as it is, because you look at these things and you analyze what the composition look like, and then all of a sudden, you know, playing one hero just becomes completely unviable and irrelevant to the situation you're in, and then all of a sudden you need to swap, and then that kind of, you lose out on perks, you lose out on ultimate charge, you lose out on, you know, does the rest of your team need to swap because all of a sudden you're a new hero? And you know, hero swappings are so prevalent in these 5v5, 6v6 team shooters that when it comes down to playing these roles, you need to know when to swap, what roles to play. Sometimes you need to know when not to swap, because over swapping can be detrimental to the point where you're losing out on ults, and most of the time if you swap, then they swap, then you swap, then they swap, you get into a vicious cycle of just every time you die, you go back to the spawn room, you come out as a new hero. So
yeah, no matter how hard Blizzard tries, they're never going to be able to stop counter swapping. It's just, yeah, unless you just remove it, you have to play the character you pick, kind of like Siege type thing. Like, there's just no option unless, like you said, they entirely remove it, because there's just certain heroes. Like, if they're playing Diva, you're gonna want to, not maybe immediately, but you're gonna want to switch to maybe Zarya, just something to try to take out that Diva. And there's just no denying that, no matter what perks or ults, I mean, they're gonna have. Eventually, after you use your ult, Zarya is gonna be the viable option, and maybe Symmetra as well, because Beam just absolutely nukes Diva. So yeah, as you said, just basically it's all about finding the team composition. You're not always gonna want to play Wrecking Ball. There's no one team comp that is the best team comp, essentially. It's like
you're playing Sojourn.
Unless you're playing Sojourn.
She's in every comp.
She's in every comp. It's like, yeah, so no matter what, Sojourn's in the comp. And like maybe Kiriko.
Yeah, Sojourn is Kiri. You have, like, I don't even know, half the time, like, there's like probably like 4 tanks you rotate. Like half the tank roster is just off the team. When it comes to DPS, honestly, probably like 16 of them aren't viable. When's the last time you've seen a Reaper in a comp? I haven't seen a Reaper in a comp in a while. I don't know about you. I mean, Reaper, big shotgun man, but you know, I don't know. I mean, they've tried to put Cassidy back into the comp a little bit, but even then, it's still kind of iffy. Because again, Sojourn just kind of does Cassidy's job a little bit too well, and especially with an ult like Deadeye. Deadeye is just so niche in terms of handling. You know, oh, I need to ult now. I don't know. Do we need to ult now? I'm just gonna use it as a reload cancel, and that's kind of what it boils down to. Yeah,
pretty much a perfect way of describing power creep. It's just like McCree. Cassidy, I apologize, is such an old character. Like, it's been in the game since Overwatch 1, and then they have, like, it's not viable to play Cassidy anymore now that they've added Sojourn, and even like Ashe. Like, I would argue Ashe is more viable than Cassidy, and it's just, it's tough to play those older heroes sometimes because just the new ones are so good. Like Kiriko is so good. Why would you play Mercy if you have Kiriko? It's just,
it's like, I have Revive. Oh great, I have Suzu. Okay.
Yeah, I have Suzu and insane headshot damage. So like, it's just, it's not viable. I do believe we have a map, and it is Lijiang Tower. Lijiang Tower, the very infamous Lijiang Tower. I have casted many a games at Lijiang Tower.
Everybody loves Lijiang Tower.
Everyone loves it. Very popular.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with Lijiang, but I mean, here we go. So we are getting into the game here. We see, okay, Mech on Tracer. We got Bordy. Okay, an interesting pick there. I know her name, but I don't know why.
Freya.
Thank you, Freya. Roadhog, Ada on Wu Yang, and then, of course, Kiri in the comp on both sides. Wu Yang is actually on both sides as well. And then we see the Sombra. I assume that Sim is just going to swap immediately. The Doomfist in there for a little bit of an interesting dive. And then we'll see what ends up happening here. So out comes the rollout, if I had to guess.
Yeah, and you hear them cheering on. They're going to take 2-point now. Ada on this Wu Yang that we know he's been liking so much. Going to try to get some nice damage done there. We do see that ball coming out, maybe pushing a little bit too far. Able to use that rollout to try and get far. Nice knockback damage, keeping them far away as we have Freya sort of holding back a little bit here. Going to need some damage with that bow and arrow. We see Mech on the Tracer, a newer player for us this year, just kind of doing that Tracer thing, trying to be annoying, but gets taken out by the Doomfist. But nice counter there by Alphabet, taking out, and looks like Ball State getting a bit of an advantage here now, having 3 picks to their name. Otto gonna have to back up here, taking a little bit of damage. Manoa just kind of in there pushing on point. It looks like Ball State is going to manage to get this first cap as we see the Windows
Hello,
icon.
PowerPoint.
Hello, PowerPoint. Ball State gets that first cap. Great team fight by them.
Yeah, I mean, in general, what kind of happened there? I got to get back into the rhythm. We did see they lost the first pick, but it's not necessarily all over the second you lose that, because right now Ball State has a lot of high damage, and then a lot of squishy enemies to go up against, so you can really just shut them down relatively fast because Tracer, not a lot of health. Sombra, not a lot of health. Kiriko, not a lot of health. I don't know about Wu Yang. Doomfist obviously being the tank does have a good chunk of health, but with the damage that Ball State can output right now, they're kind of just going to be able to shut them down at any moment's notice, really.
Yeah, Tracer going to dash back, trying to get into the fight, trying to get an early pick, takes out the Tracer in the Tracer 1v1 as well as Bordy getting a nice pick on the Sombra. Definitely needed Sombra. Very bad character to play into Ball. Ada also taking out a nice support kill there. It's looking like NIU is going to have to back up again. They've lost too much. Doomfist has no support, and Ball State is going to take this one.
They are definitely going to see a different, I'm assuming, push from the NIU side here. It looks like they're all kind of coordinated to go towards that left side here, and that Doomfist trying to get in the action a little bit here, but Mech able to take down one. Doobie does return the favor onto Bordy, taking them out of the fight relatively early on as well, making this a 4v4. Sombra is in a bit of a spot. We do see Ada get one right as we're cut to. The ults are available, and out comes one of them. We see the slam from Doomfist, but a very well-timed dodge from the Wu Yang out of Ada does make that ult irrelevant here. Bordy coming back out of spawn. Mono is able to find one onto the Wu Yang of the NIU side. Alphabet is able to clean up one onto the enemy Kiriko as well. Finds a second. We do see one as Ada falls, but it looks like NIU is most likely going to just back up here and reset as they go for one final push onto this point.
Yeah, is it time to make a switch would kind of be my thought here. I mean, Doomfist, in this meta, if you're going to play dive, I feel like there's just more viable options. As we see, NIU going to try to gear up for one last push. They need to get something here, or else this is going to be a quick point. The Kitsune does come out from Alphabet there, but Alphabet comes up. And there is the Sombra ult as well, which is huge. There is the Wu Yang ult from the enemy team, but he is taken out very, very fast. Oh, that was the Freya ult. My apologies. Very similar looking ults there. Doomfist very low on HP, but so is Manoa. Gonna have to back up. Does fall. Overtime clock is out. NIU might be able to get a cap here, but Mech's gonna have to try and get on point, do something, but it looks like they're gonna have to yield and give this one to NIU.
They're gonna have to give this one to NIU, but here's the thing. They're down a player right now, having to come back out of spawn, and they've got two ults in their back pocket, only countered by Kitsune Rush, hoping that Bordy doesn't. Oh, unfortunate fall from them. Just a tiny bit too low on that. The dive not able to get back up, so they are gonna have to wait. It gives them time to get back out of spawn at this point. Again, we see a little bit of interesting action come out from the ball. We're seeing that backline ball play from Manoa, and right now the ults are just building up once again. Bordy's able to find one onto Wit there. They're going to try and back up fast they can here. We do see the ult now come out. The minefield does come out in general. Here we see Alphabet able to find one onto the Doomfist. Their tank is down. Teleport comes out from one. Ball State does get the overtime ticking down. They're going to have to touch point, but it doesn't seem like they're able to find it. And while the ults do come out, they are going to end up reset come round two.
Yeah, definitely just not the greatest lineup, in my opinion, there for NIU. I mean, Sombra is a great choice because that, like we said earlier, really nerfs Ball. But when you're, Doomfist, I just feel like isn't the most viable character in the situation. He just isn't doing enough damage. The Ball is just so much faster, just absolutely diving the backline, and the DPS are doing a great job right now of targeting Sombra, not letting Sombra take out their Ball and making them viable. And when Sombra maybe does get a hack on the Ball, they're doing a great job of protecting their tank and trying to keep this team lineup very viable. We are going to see some switches maybe. Bordy coming out here, going to try to get that maybe fast rollout with the Symmetra, and there's our good friend Sojourn back out once again.
Yep. I mean, it was expected one day or another. I was just kind of guessing when it was going to come out. But the Sombra now does seem to be in a bit of a spot there as she used her TP relatively early. We do see a little bit of a tank swap come out. But yep, as I predicted, there goes the Sombra. And only with 10 seconds left, they do have a little bit of time to try and build this one down. But as a second pick falls in Ball State's favor, at this point, they are going to have to try and just regroup, which does give Ball State that point yet again early on in this. And right now, they're going to have to try their best to come back at this and battle Ball State best they can, especially with the fact they just got one pick. They are up one in this next fight, so they're going to have to take advantage of this as much as possible. And I don't know if the Sombra is the play here now that they've swapped off a Ball, but hey, that's your call to make. Yeah, that was a nice pick there that Hayes just got onto Mech. Ball State definitely going for a bit more of a brawl comp here with that Junker Queen, but Junker Queen is going to fall to the Sombra. Looking like Ball State might have to back out of this one. They're down a tank. They're down a DPS. Alphabet going to have to back up, and it does look like NIU being a little bit more competitive, a much earlier cap than last time. Try their best, but I mean, try as you might. Ball State is definitely in the ring right now to try and take this one back. They do have a little bit of time to try and combat this best they can, and we do see now the Tracers going back and forth as much as possible. We see Bordy a little bit low here as they're battling this Tracer best they can, try to get some healing, but again, that Sombra hacked that healing point, which means that they cannot use it. They do find one pick as Mech is able to take one out as Cass, somebody we weren't expecting to see here early on. Now they're going to try and fall back here and get their groups back together, try their best to combat this once again. So ults might come out. We do see one from Wu Yang. It does end up finding one. Another one is stuck, but a good recall is able to shut that one down. Not able to find anything in the end there. It does seem like we are going to see another yet fall come from the Ball State side, and it looks like they're just going to go for another regroup if they can get back in time. Yeah,
Ball State getting a little bit outdove here. This Doomfist is doing a lot of great work to just kind of disrupt the Ball State backline. I'm seeing great Tracer usage from Bordy right now, using these abilities the best that he can, just being really annoying. That is like the textbook Tracer play, just be annoying as possible. But now they got to find something for this Doomfist and fast. They do have 2 support ults. Maybe they got to use it to try to make a push here. That would be my chosen strategy.
And that's my guess, but here's the problem. A lot of ults are probably going to come out the second you pop one, and here comes all of them, in fact. We do see one Kitsune Rush get popped, second Kitsune Rush get popped. You see the Tracer ult and the Doomfist ult come out. Bordy's able to find 2 during the chaos that is this fight. Mech is able to find 1, find 2 as well. Both headshots. Can they keep it going? Yes, they can for a wonderful team kill. Keep it going. A triple kill from Bordy, in fact, does end up securing them the point once again. And now they just got to keep this one going. They do have 3 ults, 4 on its way in Ball State's back pocket compared to the only 1 that is on the NIU side.
That is one thing that Ball State is just so great at compared to some of these other teams at times, is they only invested 1 ult into that fight and they managed to come out on top, while NIU invested multiple, and that is just not what you want to see, trading 1 ult for multiple. And now Ball State is in a great position to just defend this capture. They have 4 ults, and Kiriko ult is building fast. Ball State is in a great position right now, and it looks like we might see a Tracer ult pretty soon.
Yep, we do see Kitsune, or not Kitsune, we see Suzu go out to try and save the Kiriko best they can, but no, they are going to fall, gets healed again, and out comes the Ball State. Close to a TK, but it wasn't able to secure the last as the Tracer was able to get out in time. And now they're just going to go for another regroup here. They still have those ult, and the Kitsune Rush is building up yet again compared to the only 30% from the NIU Kiriko. It's right now they're just going to have to try and battle this one out best they can as they go in for yet another team fight here. We'll see what ults decide to fly, because at this point they're going down to last fight territory. We do see 1 go out, we see 2 go out. Can we see any more? Out goes 1. It's able to find 1 into the Sombra. Nothing else to do there. I am stumbling over my words, but Mech is able to find 1 as well. The ult from the Wu Yang is able to find 1 as well. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. The Doomfist is able to find 1, followed by Bordy securing it again. And right now we are in this last fight territory. This Sombra is in a bit of a spot. She used her teleport to try and get at the health pack, but no, not able to do anything there. We do see the recall come out. Can they get this Wu Yang down before the Tracer falls? It is in overtime right now. They're just trading blows back and forth. We might see Deadeye actually be used and be useful, other than a, can they make it happen? Get something. Oh no, it's just an ammo usage.
Well, it looks like Ball State might be able to take this one. It's so total chaos right now with the Kitsu ult coming out as well. But the overtime clock is going to fall to 0. Ball State's going to take this one. Very chaotic there for a little bit. Just ults flying everywhere. Picks happening. So hard to keep track of all what was going on. But
man, you can
Ball
tell
State,
it's been a while.
Oh, yeah. And we see a nice Bordy play of the game. Like I said, some textbook Tracer from Bordy that we saw this time. Just being annoying. That is perfect Tracer. Just going in, using those dashes and those abilities to get some nice melee picks. Just going in, getting in the face of the back line. Using all of Bordy's 150 HP to his advantage. Great stuff.
175.
Apologies, 175.
Yeah, they buffed her a little while ago. I remember we talked about this. We talked about the Tracer buff.
We literally did.
Yeah, we had a whole like a whole day about this. Tracer.
No. Well, yes, Tracer. Of course they buffed Tracer. But yeah, that is.
Well, I mean, everybody started doing like 100% more damage or something, so they had to give them more health.
Yeah.
So I think everybody got more health generally.
They did. I mean, a lot of just in general, the game. Every character in the game is a little less squishy now. Just like much more tanky damage.
Well, I mean, when Sojourn could just one-shot you out of nowhere, I mean, it's fair. But I mean, it kind of takes away from the fact that Ashe actually used to be able to just flat out one-shot a Tracer with a Mercy damage boost. And again, you're not really going to see a lot of Mercies, but when you do, if you just get one doink on a Tracer in the head, I mean, it would one-tap her. You just don't really see a lot of Mercies. But I know I saw a lot of funny moments of just Tracers getting one shot, which is fun to see because she's a very tiny hitbox with a tiny head, and then you just see her kind of fall over.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to play Mercy just when you have so many, like, Sojourn.
Yeah.
And also, like, Hanzo, if you have really good aim, like, just, it's hard to play Mercy. So sadly, we don't get those fun moments anymore, really. No. Because just no Mercy playing. But
where's the 6-man res?
Where is the 6-man res? That would actually maybe make Mercy a little bit more viable if you maybe the whole team.
I mean, but here's the thing: when you played around that, all you would really do is just kind of sit in a corner. Your whole team would die. You'd rush in, you'd res, and then you just do the same thing over again until you built your ult.
Yeah, pretty much. that's just it's a different play style.
Yeah.
But yeah, so probably not gonna see any Mercy, nor are we gonna see the return.
They don't like her res. I mean, they nerfed her res probably like 4 times in a row.
Yeah, they just, no matter what, they just are like, oh, it's too good still. We just got on nerf it, and it's already so hard to get off, I would say. Like, it's a hard res to get off of it. Yeah, that's why we don't see Mercy anymore. We did see a lot of Wu Yang, the newest Overwatch hero. He's got some really interesting mechanics, as in, like, he can shoot multi, but if you hold down the mouse button, you can actually control the shot, and it does more damage that way.
It does a lot of damage.
It does a lot.
I think it 2-shots a Tracer or something.
And it's great for long range.
Yeah. I mean, you're just kind of, at the same time, you're not really healing, you're doing damage. So it's fair that this damage should be high because, like other people who can kind of heal and damage pretty fast in terms of like what Kiriko can do. I mean, Kiri has triple headshot damage, followed by her tracking healing. Wu Yang has automatic healing. I think it's like a beam of water. I think you just look at them and press one button and it heals.
He has like a passive healing. So if you look at them, he has a lot to do with the mouse. If you look at him and just click it, you get like a slow passive healing over time. I don't really know how fast it heals, but then if you hold the mouse button on them, they get like he gets beam healing as well, but it drains the amount he can heal drains pretty fast. He's got and he needs to go do more damage to try to rebuild it. So yeah, it is fair, I think, that it does a lot of damage because he can't just simultaneously damage heal like someone like Kiriko.
Yeah. We just got word, I believe the next map is Suravasa, so we've got an interesting, I believe that's Flashpoint, I think.
I believe it is as well.
I think it's Flashpoint. It is Flashpoint. All right, wonderful. My knowledge is still there. It's rough. It's been a rough summer, but it's there.
Yeah.
I started working at Chili's. I have the card. I'm very excited to go to Chili's. I've been waiting on this for a while because I get to use my card, and I'm going to flash it like an ID. You're like, you want my ID? Bam. I worked at Chili's. I was a server.
I worked at Chili's. I mean, I do love myself some Chili's.
Oh my goodness, Chili's is good.
It is great.
I get their chicken bacon ranch quesadilla. What do you get?
I get either the chicken bacon ranch quesadilla or I get the triple dipper, and I like to switch it up when I get the triple dipper. But
I think the worst thing, like, would you believe it? The worst tippers were college students. I think that says a lot about how broke our college students are in America. I think that was the worst demographic I hated coming into Chili's. There were a lot of bad demographics. In terms of like, okay, the people who stayed there the longest, old people. The people who tipped the worst, college kids. Let's see, the best tippers were families. Like when a big table of like one family was solid. They were usually like the $20 tippers. You had like, okay, what else could I throw on there?
Did you have any like tables of like a lot of high school like guys that
really.
didn't really understand how tipping worked, so they all just threw in $20?
Oh, actually, one time, yes, okay. One time it was a group of college kids. They all came in really late, like right before closing, and then they all just threw cash on the table, and I just it was a cash pile.
That is pretty sweet. Surely the Junkrat is a troll pick. I would be really surprised if it wasn't, but I guess you never know. So we have basically a pretty similar lineup with Freya coming out here. We have that Wrecking Ball again. We got the Wu Yang, and we got Kiri. We have Alphabet on Curie this time. Mech playing on some Junkrat. I would assume that he's going to switch, yes, to that Symmetra for that rollout. Probably going to maybe switch really soon. But
back to Tracer.
Back to Tracer. That's what you want to see there.
Would you believe it? Tracer.
Would you believe it? We got Tracer instead of Sim. I mean, Sim, depending on the map, depending on the situation, can be viable.
I have never seen a viable Sim in so long.
It's not going to be viable in this setting.
It has been a while since I've seen a good Sim. But anyways, getting into this fight, looking at the team composition here a little bit, it does seem like we've got a tiny bit of dive yet again, and we see one kill go out. That was an interesting transition that we saw. Mech was able to pick up 2 before falling, and oh my goodness, I did not know that's how Freya played. That is horrifying. She is like movement demon.
Yeah, movement and very, very fast-paced shooting.
Mixed with accuracy is scary. I don't want to fight 40.
Yeah, it's like a flying Hanzo with faster shooting. It's kind of scary.
Hanzo, except he has infinite double jump.
Yeah, pretty awful, not going to lie. Definitely a good trade there. I'm pretty surprised. Honestly, I'm getting a little bit of PTSD from this Hazard. It's been too long, but the Hazard is going to fall. Ball State maybe looking to finally get a first cap here. It has not happened yet, but they are definitely in favor to do it now. Great team kill.
Yeah, I mean, again, once you get Ball State rolling, I mean, it's really hard to stop them. So they'll try their best, NIU will, but I am sure that Ball State's going to put up a wonderful fight in this situation. Uh-oh.
Hey.
Oh, man, we're back. Anyways. Oh, no.
And we're back.
We're back again. Anyways, that was an interesting transition. I haven't seen that one yet. We'll get back into it here. We see one fall. Mech is able to find one as well. Out goes the Pulse Bomb from the Tracer here. Hazard is looking hurt. Are they able to keep him alive? It seems like it, actually, and it looks like NIU is going to most likely take this point back as we see the ball try to rotate back around, get back with the team, maybe just do a little bit of poke damage here. They are close to their ult, but we'll see what ends up happening and if we see that wonderful transition yet again.
Yeah, that was great stuff from the NIU supports there. Basically just throwing everything into Hazard to try to keep him alive, win this team fight, and they managed to do it. They got a cap, and like we have said with Flashpoint in the past, it moves up so fast. So Ball State, they're going to have to respond to that because it's already at 32%.
Yeah, Flashpoint moves fast, and I think the way it works is the more people standing on it, the faster it goes. That's kind of always been my sentiment on how this works. I could very well be wrong. I have not played Overwatch in a while. I understand how Overwatch works. I've played it enough. I got the diamond, but it's just been a while. I don't think I've played since season 17, and we're in season 18, so it's been a little bit.
Yeah, it was definitely a while for me as well. I got to take a bit of a break from the game sometimes. Looks like Ball State is going to be able to recap as well, but just another nice just wipe through the team. Did have to invest the ball ult, but they still have 4 ults remaining. So Ball State's in a great position to win another team fight as well and probably take this point entirely. I really think it's going to be hard for NIU. They do have 3 ults, but again, Ball State has double support ult, as does NIU, but I mean, a double support ult into Freya ult, into Tracer ult. This is going to be really hard for NIU.
Yeah, I mean, we will see what happens as we do see the Hazard jump on a point here. We see the Freya. They're able to get hacked here, looking like they're going to try and shut them down fast as they can, but nope. Healed back to full health. We see a lot of ults come out. We see both Kitsune rushes, I believe. We see one get stuck onto the Tracer there. Can they find anything else? We see the Wu Yang ult go out. Are they able to keep this up? Yes, it seems like it. Ball State's doing their best to try and keep this one alive, and it looks like they went on another team kill other than the Sombra. Can they shut her down? Yes, they can, and what a wonderful first point from the Ball State team.
Yeah, honestly, you got to invest as much ults as you can there. Every single point cap on Flashpoint is huge, and it may seem like a bit of an overcommit if you're not used to Flashpoint. Like, man, they're really going to use all these ults here, but they kind of have to. I mean, you don't want to lose a first cap like that, and Ball State is a very momentum-based team. They get their momentum, they get rolling, like you said earlier. They're very hard to stop, so let's see if Tracer can maybe get a nice pick on here. That would definitely allow them to be very in the benefit, but a bit of a waste of an ult.
Bit of a waste of an ult, but it doesn't really matter if you get the pick in the end, so I would say everything went to plan here, and we're seeing both DPS take up the reins in terms of leading their team to victory right now. This point is going to unlock, although at the same time it seems like the NIU team is just going to go ahead and go for a little bit of a backtrack here as they go towards the point. We see a lot of sprays going down because it's a Overwatch player's dream to be able to press the one bind they have linked to their spray, but uh-oh, we do see Maw drop relatively early into this fight here, so a lot of utility is probably going to be played around that, and yes, we do see 40 fall secondly here. They are able to pick up another pick onto Wit, but does end up falling as well, and right now we're we're going to see if they just want to go ahead and play back, try to get around and away from this as ball comes back into point to try and stall as much as they can, because again, this point moves fast. So the longer they stall, really, the more point they have. And what a great hack from the Sombra there, able to shut down. And that's what we were talking about. The ball stuck in turret form is not able to do too much. And I say turret form, I think it's more like just assault mode or something like that.
Yeah, that was a great Sombra there, because not only does it shut down ball mid-drop, by the way, so he wasted his cooldown there, it also turns the balls landmines against them. So that is definitely not what you want to see if you're playing ball, and it's going to be really hard. They're going to have to work around this Sombra. They've been doing a great job of doing it as of now, but they're staggering a little bit. They're a little separated. They need to regroup here. They do have point cap back because NIU backed up a little bit, which is a bit of a weird play. But let's see how Ball State and NIU are going to respond to each other's team comps here.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. You see overextension, and then you take advantage of it by taking the next point. We see the downpour come out. Witt's able to find one. Witt's able to find two from the downpour. I don't know if they're going to be able to find too much more after we see this go down, but no, Witt is able to find three. Can they keep it going? You see a few down and out here as the Wu Yang ult comes down. It's able to knock down one. Can it keep it going? We're seeing our Tracer now, Mech, just fall to the remaining members of the NIU team. But again, Ball State was able to stall in that moment, and they're up to 86%, which if they get one more team kill, should be it to get them 2.3.
Yeah, that was definitely a kind of a surprise moment there. I mean, you think that surely Ball State's going to fall. I mean, we see all these deaths happening on their side, but they just are managed. That's just kind of how you win games. They're stalling for so long that they build up that percent, and they're about to cap the point again because NIU is kind of off point right now.
Yeah, we see the continuing rush. One does come out. Mecha's able to find one. Low on health, though. Can they keep it going? No, they cannot. That overtime is ticking down, and it seems like Ball State's going to let this one go. Does give the first point to NIU. Although Ball State is in a good spot to try and secure the third point, more or less, here onto this map. We'll see what ends up happening, though. As they were able to find a pick onto Ada here, we're going to see how they're able to contest this, more or less, as the NIU team seems to try and push them back towards their spawn point here. And it seems like Ball State's just going to have to go for a relative group reset.
I'm actually pretty sure that this is the map. I think NIU actually took a game off Ball State on this map last year. I think this actually might be one of Ball State's worst maps in terms of playing. I don't think they're bad at this map, but compared to some other maps, it might not be their best, their strength. And I think that they've been playing it really well as of now. They still have a ball ult to use. They have a tracer ult to use as well. I think they might let NIU try to get the first cap. The ball ult is going to come out, though. Let's see where this comes. But, ooh.
Again, the hack does come out. It does shut them down, but I mean, that was ult for ult in that moment, so it's relatively fair. But although at this current moment, it does seem like NIU is able to just make some momentum, make some ground off of this. Morty did make the swap to Genji here, something that he is very comfortable with. So we'll see what ends up happening as we go back into this yet again. Ball State wrapped back around. They also went for a little bit of a tank change. We now see both of the tanks now sitting on. Why am I blanking on his name? I know Hazard. Hazard, thank you. I don't know why I'm just blanking on names right now. That's bad. You can tell it's been a while.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of PTSD here. Double Hazard into each other. Not what I like to see, but it's okay. I think switching up the tank was definitely the right decision there. Sombra was just doing too much to stop the ball. They were playing really, really well. It was definitely time for a tank switch. Hazard, bit of an interesting choice, but I mean, if you can't figure out how to counter the tank, it's good to just play the tank into the tank.
Can't beat him, join him. We do see one ult come out, a second one come out as well. Can we see this one going? We see the ult from Ada come out as well. We see Downpour come out. We do see now Manuel is able to get under the point. Can they shut down the supports? They do. Both supports are now down and out for the NIU team, but here we go. Who's going to fall first? They're just holding up the block best they can. Does Ball State have enough supports to keep this one up? It is a Tracer. Beat Tracer right now in overtime. They've got to keep this one alive. They don't have recall to keep this one going. They've got to find a point. They do. They shut it down, and Ball State's got a chance as the rest of them come back to point. They may just give it to them in this point to try and back up, but we'll see what ends up happening because, again, one team fight does mean the second one goes to NIU again.
That is just kind of one of those moments where I was like, how did Ball State win that team fight? Like, it looks like everything's going wrong for them. Most of their team's dead. All of a sudden, both of NIU supports are dead, and it's a Hazard one-off, and then all of a sudden, it's just two Tracers left on the point, and they rely on Mech, a great Tracer player, clearly to get the dub for them, and now they have a fighting chance on this one. Like we said, Flashpoint moves fast. It's already pushing 40%. They could very well take this point from them, and they're off to a great start already.
They are, and they know who's low at what moment, and they always know what target to pick. And right now, we do see that point, again, already past the 50% marker, so they're going to have to fight this one quick. But with a lot of ults in their back pocket, they may not have a lot of time to make ground. And Ball State might use these ults aggressively to try and shut down the chance for them, NIU being to get any kind of aggression, any kind of point themselves. But they are incredibly far away from point, so if somebody starts contesting it, they may have to fall back, which means they'll turn around, which means they might lose focus on what's happening. And right now, that's exactly what's happening. They are losing the point. They're going to have to go back pretty quick. I think they will be there to contest it, which means one might be shut down early, giving them a pretty big advantage in the team fight, but we will see what happens. It goes into overtime in Ball State's favor. They're going to have to contest this as fast as they can. We do see a few ults come out here. One comes out. Can they keep it alive? They see one go, but in the turn, 3 are down from Ball State. They do find another. Gets a stick under the Lucio. It's now a 2v2, although one falls, another one falls, and there it goes. Ball State's not going to be able to get back in time to take that one away from NIU. It was close, but just not enough.
Honestly, I think the fact that it was 99% v 99% there is a testament to how well Ball State just played. I mean, while NIU, I believe, had the advantage of them there, it kind of looked like it was going to be in their favor the whole time, and Ball State managed to bring it to a 99% because they have just been using each member of their team to the best that they can. They've been using the ults very well. So if they can keep this up and maybe get off on a better start, don't give up 99% before you even cap, I think that they can get the momentum shift in their favor here, and let's see if they can get started on that.
That's the idea here. The point is going to unlock in a few seconds, and they're going to have to play around this. They saw a target and they picked them. They're going to try and get this fast as possible. The downpour does get a few of them stuck inside of it. Alphabet's able to find one, find two. They've got to keep it alive. Noah, I'm sorry, I'm butchering this completely. Is able to find one as well, and Mech cleans up the second pair of a duo kill to round out that team kill there. And right now, Ball State does have early access to this point, which is something we were talking about, something they definitely need to try and keep this one going and get them a win for this second game.
That was actually a very fun use of the hazard out there. He basically used it to guarantee Ball State first cap. He traps most of NEU in off point, and that was really fun to see, actually. Just a bit of a different use of the hazard all, and it worked out in their favor. They're already pushing 50%, but now another huge team fight here, and it looks like NEU has a good start to this one.
Yep, they have a great start to it. They are able to find 2, find 3, but a stick from Tracer is able to round this out to a closer, even match as the rest of them are trying to come out of spawn fast as they can, but as Allegro cleans up one of the tank, Ball State is probably going to give this one away and try to regroup here for another push.
Yeah, with Hazard, it's hard when your Hazard goes down to kind of keep the momentum you have, because Hazard is such a hybrid sort of tank. He can play brawl, he can play dive, and when you don't have Hazard taking away the backline pressure or allowing you to push forward with his brawl, it's very hard to play without him. So when your tank dies, it's kind of a smart idea just to sort of back up, and that's what Ball State did, and they're going to try to regroup now.
Yeah, and they use that ult sparingly. Odd is able to find one, but NIU is able to find 3 in turn. Although Wildboardy does able to pick up one as well, it seems like they are going to fall yet again as well, and they do take point back. We'll see how long the Tracer can contest this, if they decide to contest this at all, but there goes again. In that, like, 6 seconds that Ball State had the point, they probably got about 8%. I almost said 7, but I'm not going to make it 6-7.
Yeah, no, 6-7. No, but that is definitely something with Ball State that we just see is so well. NIU, they are kind of distracted. They're off point. They're finding Ball State off point. And then we just see Mech go and hide on point and get that sneaky cap. And now, look, they're about to take it. It's going to come into overtime. I mean, out of nowhere, Ball State has just got all their momentum back, and the overtime clock is going to fall, and now it's an even game.
It is indeed. And right now it's coming down to the wire here. One more point on this Flashpoint map. Make it the most open one for the map in general, and Ball State's going to have to play this one well. They do have 2 ults compared to NIU's nothing right now, so we'll see what ends up happening. We do see them use one. It isn't able to find one, and right now they are now again down another one, trying to take out one early support member to try and even out this fight for Ball State. The hack does come out from the Sombra, but in a bad spot. And we see Bordy go haywire. We find one, find 2. Can they find more? It doesn't seem like it, but no, they are able to push back this NIU team, and it does secure them this first point again. pushing NIU all the way back to their spawn.
Yeah, definitely a scary Genji ult coming out there from board. He manages to find 2 and weakens the tank so much that they just have to back up before the point is even available for capture, and this is going to give Ball State a nice early cap. I think that was a great investment of the Genji ult. I would have liked to see them try and save the Tracer ult for something else. I know what they were trying to do, and if it would have worked, it would have been great, but it just didn't work out, and now they're just down an ult for kind of what feels like no reason, but they already have 2, so I think that they can definitely just ignore that and move on from it.
Yep, we see the Wu Yang ult try to find that Tracer, is able to do so. I know she was looking at Otto trying to get his attention there, and then that ult did come out. We see the Kitsune Rush is able to find itself a mark as well. Downpour does come out as well. It traps one, but that block is going to try and shut them down best they can. We might see a downpour from our Hazard as well in the moments coming here, but they will try their best to stay alive. Can the dive stay alive? Can it keep it going? The block runs out. Both tanks are down, so no downpour coming out from our Hazard. We see the stick try to land, but it fails there. They're now trying to keep this one going as long as they can. The Tracer having another one-on-one here. Who's going to win it in the end? One does have recall, that being Mech. The other one does use it. Otto's able to find one as well. 1 HP. They're able to keep it going. Just the Sombra to try and keep this one alive, and it looks like Ball State is going to take game 2.
Wow. That was, like, again, just kind of out of nowhere when everything seemed to be going wrong for them, when it seemed like NIU was surely going to get that last capture there. All of a sudden, Ball State they are able to stall for long enough. Their tank's back in the fight, and they are winning the game. They're winning the match. That was absolutely huge. We weren't going to look at the play of the game. Instead, we're going to look at this man.
Look at it through his reflection. Look
at
it through the reflection. Try to see what's happening. Yeah, I got nothing. Otto look down. Yeah, look down. Yeah, hi Otto.
Hello, Otto.
Hello.
Like, once he realized he was on stream.
Oh, we have the replay. Okay, we have this is our play of the game, actually. We have our own replay.
Yeah, who needs play of the game when we actually have our own play of the game?
Yeah.
So just some great stuff overall from Ball State. Just some nice kills overall. I think that they are just kind of proving themselves tonight to be the king of stalling. I mean, like like when it all seems to go wrong for them, they're able to keep the fight going for long enough to just, even if they don't win the fight overall, they're building up so much percent that it's really helping them in late game.
I mean, and NIU keeps stepping off of the point, and then Ball State recognizes that. They step on the point, capture it, and then in a game like Flashpoint, bam, they have 7% already.
Yeah, it's like even if NIU wins the fight, Ball State still manages to cap in the middle of the fight, and that is just, every time you do that, that just builds up your advantage slightly more. And yeah, you can't let that happen. You can't just step off point in Flashpoint. It's actually a very big deal to stay on point. I mean, you need to remain capped. It goes up so fast, like, and it feels fast too. Especially like we're watching it and it feels fast. It feels really fast when you're playing it, and you win the team fight and you're like, oh my gosh, they gained 15% in the middle of that team fight.
Well, especially with the ult usage as well, because you're coming at this with like, okay, their ult, that's a piece of utility. They're probably not going to get back during this flashpoint if we play this right. So one ult comes out, meaning bam, we probably won't see that again for like another like entire capture point. So if you see it used, keep track of that in your mind, play around it, and then seemingly just take your own ult and be like, okay, well, I kind of need to use this in a really good spot, which is what we saw a lot of the time from Ball State, especially coming out with like the downpour from the Hazard. I know some of the Tracer sticks did end up working. Not all of them worked, but it's very hit or miss. You're kind of throwing a very slow projectile, so not all of them are bound to hit. But a lot of them, when they do hit, is definitely an easy pick, unless you get it on like a Tracer or a Sombra who can teleport. But if you get it on like a Lucio, nothing they can do. That's one healer out of the fight. Yeah,
I want to say like they weren't always very consistently hitting the Tracer ult, but you might as well go for it at that point. Like, go for the pick, see if you can get it. And there were times where they got it and it was huge, and then there were times where maybe they didn't get it, but they managed to follow up with the pick anyway. And then there was times where they didn't get it at all. But you might as well just try it. Like, it's something, like you said, it's a very slow projectile. If it can give you an advantage in a team fight, it probably can, because you're not usually going to get, it's very rare that you're going to get more than one kill with the Tracer ult anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, you might as well just kind of use it, invest it. And that's another interesting about Flashpoint. It's not my favorite game mode, but it does kind of change how you think about ults a lot. Like, you would invest more ults than you'd think in certain situations, and you'd invest less ults than you think in certain situations. So it's an interesting game mode. It's never been my personal favorite, but I'm glad that it is being used a bit more, because it shakes some things up.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of shaking things up, we will, I believe, and I don't know why I sound different all of a sudden. What happened to my headset? I sound okay. Whatever. I'll deal with it. I sound weird all of a sudden. Speaking of shaking things up, I guess one, I sound different, but two, in terms of handling different situations, you're gonna want to shake things up yourself. We were talking about this a little bit in the pre-show. You want to be able to handle different situations with different outcomes. You're not always looking to always go for a TK. I know a lot of the times that's kind of what we saw Ball State do. When they shut down one, they usually shut down all. But in terms of handling different situations, you want to be able to bring your own solution to the problem, and that comes at it. That comes at the cost of having really good team communication. And a lot of the times, if you're just sitting there in silence, then you're not going to get a lot of that out of what you're trying to do. And so it comes down to these players are really good at the game, but they're also really good at communicating with each other. And surprisingly, I'm not hearing everybody back there screaming like Genji, 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 Lucio, Ram. I'm not hearing a lot. One, because I have a good headset on, but two, you don't really necessarily need to do that. A lot of the times you just say, hey, we should try this. If it doesn't work, hey, we should try this. If it doesn't work, we should try this. Do it over and over until it works. And then you find something that does, and then you just battle that over and over again until you have to find something new.
Yeah, I mean, Ball State, very good with communication. You can't just click your alt button. You can't just like, oh yeah, you can't just click Q.
I press Q.
Yeah, you gotta talk about when you're gonna do that stuff. We do have the next map. It is Esperanza. That's a pretty good map. I mean, I think it's a fun one. It's like
this is push.
I do believe it is Push the Robot.
Yeah.
Which again is a game mode. I'm not like, it's not my favorite, but it's fun,
push.
And it's fast. Push is
well, especially if one team dominates. I mean,
yeah.
If you just TK them over and over again, the robot will get to the halfway mark. And then what a lot of the time happens in these games is you won't see them push all the way to the end until you'll be here for like the 10 minutes, but nothing really ever happens. And all that really does is that one team dominates, gets the robot to like a halfway mark, and then just over and over again, they just keep returning it back and forth to that one spot.
Yeah, and then one thing that I have noticed in this game mode with Ball State specifically, I mean, I've watched a lot of Ball State Overwatch. They're very good at sneakily pushing the robot, similar as they are to sneakily capturing the flashpoint. They're pretty good at that, and it does kind of, like you said, it makes it like, oh my gosh, not only have they already pushed it, if they're having a really dominant performance like they tend to at sometimes in this league, in this conference, after they've already pushed it halfway down the map, and then, oh my god, middle of a team fight, they just take it even further. It's like, oh boy. That is not what you want to see if you're NIU tonight. And I mean, I don't think that, no matter what, Ball State doesn't really, they're gonna try their hardest to win no matter what. They don't really, like, they take every opponent as seriously as they possibly can, no matter if it's their number one, right? Like last year, no matter whether it was NIU or U Toledo, they took all of them the same seriousness. NIU being their number one rival for the championship, and U Toledo being a great team, but not their number one priority in terms of fighting for the championship. But they're gonna play them the same. They're gonna try the same. That's just kind of how they're gonna do it. They're not gonna be like, oh, this is an easy one,
Yeah.
They're never gonna have that mindset.
I mean, they kind of did last week.
Well, sometimes they do.
They played May.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah.
But
I mean, sometimes you gotta have fun.
Sometimes you gotta have a little fun. I mean, yeah, it's just how it is. But Push the Robot, it's an interesting one. It's never been my favorite. But yeah, they also go fast because you have to push the robot once.
Yeah.
You don't.
I just like I play a lot of Rivals, but I know the Overwatch people despise that word. I play a lot of Rivals. And Rivals, like, and it was Overwatch too. I just don't like the domination game modes. Like playing it with. Playing it where it's just kind of 1 point the whole time, the game's over really fast, there's no timer resets, you capture 1 point and then you like lose all your stuff, and it's just kind of boring. It's kind of the same thing with Push. You get 10 minutes total, you kind of sit there going back and forth the whole time. It's never really, no one really ever makes real ground. It's just kind of who's better and then you win. So I mean that's all the game modes, but I like having more time to see more things happen because I think it's more interesting that way. You see more ults, you see more utility, you see more teamwork, communication, all that kind of stuff in the maps like Push. And when the maps are over really fast in like 10 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, I made a 6-7 joke.
Oh, no.
But yeah, those sort of things, you just don't see a lot of that. And I like seeing a lot more team play with our players and a lot more opportunities for them to show their stuff rather than just like the 5 minutes they get in a quick game or like the 10 minutes they get in a game like Push.
Yeah, Push, it's too fast. I agree with you entirely. It's not very fast if you have one team that is just very dominant, and I know Ball State's very good at Push. That's just how it kind of is. We're going to get to some team comps here once they load in. Looks like Droid might be going for... sorry, we do have Droid in the game now, and Droid is going on Winston, that Winton character there. He... I know Droid is very well-rounded in terms of who he plays, and I do think that Dive is probably the most valuable on push. Its Brawl is a little goofy because like you're battling around a moving robot. Like it's a little goofy. So Dive I think is the way to go, and I think if you're gonna go Dive on push, I wouldn't really go with Ball. I second the monkey choice here. And then, of course, Cassidy. Not surprised by any of these other picks that we see. Sombra's a little interesting, I will say. But, yeah, other than that, pretty standard stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that Sombra definitely seems like a more comfort pick right now, especially seeing them going that 3 games. I mean, you could say the same thing about, like, seeing Kiriko all 3 games, but I think Kiriko has defined herself in the meta a little bit more than Sombra has. So seeing Sombra this much is definitely interesting to see, but we'll definitely see what they decide to go with here. We're now seeing that they are pushing this point a tiny bit in their favor, but again, it probably won't stay that way because, again, you kind of win the first team fight and then you move it like 20 meters. So we'll definitely see what happens here. And right now they are seemingly playing around the robot a little bit more as they're looking for that first pick. And Morty is the one able to find it. Teleport does go out from the Sombra there. Is she able to find a kill? Doesn't seem like it, but they'll try their best to try and keep that up. Joy's able to find one, so does Morty, so does Joy. The recall comes out from the Tracer, and Joy's able to pick that one back up. And like I said, now it's their time to try and push this one back. And so that's seemingly what they're going to do here as they move it past the point where NIU pushed it, and then even further while we wait for NIU to come back past their spawn. Yeah, Droid just cleaning up that Winston there. I know how much he loves this character, and that's kind of another thing that we see. Another thing with push is you don't actually have to push it to the end. You just have to be the team that pushes it farthest. So theoretically, if the game ended now, Ball State would win. So that's just kind of another thing with push to keep in mind is don't think about, oh, it's not near the end. Think about it's farther than NIU, or NIU has a farther than Ball State right now. Yeah, so you can see that at the top there with where the little robot pushing animation is. You can see that little like white grayed out area is where they need to make it to push past where Ball State is currently. And so that'll be the same thing if like Ball State ends up going behind, they'll have to push it that far as well. And it just kind of goes back and forth. But right now we see these picks are coming out specifically on the Tracer more or less. Now both sides have lost, but Majority's able to put it back in their favor yet again. Suzu comes out, but they go down as well. And again, it's been literally 2 minutes, 10 seconds, and they're already at the halfway mark. That's how fast this game kind of goes. And so now we're going to see Ball State again start to push it past that halfway mark. And this is usually where the teams get stuck at because now they're just going to come out of spawn after like 4 to 6 seconds, and they'll just contest it yet again. So it'll go back and forth, really. Yeah, it's going to be a back and forth thing. That's going to happen all the time. We hear them screaming in the background, so they're having fun at least. So that's very good to see. Droid going to push in a little bit here using that Winston visibility. I don't really know how I feel about the Doomfist pick. Like I've said before in this meta, I just don't really know if Doomfist is the viable dive option, but then again, I mean, they're the collegiate players and I'm not, so they clearly have a strategy with Doomfist and they're going to try to make it work. Yeah, but here's the interesting thing. 3 of the members of Ball State's team have been nowhere near the robot for like the past, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds. I don't really know what they were doing. I think they were fighting an invisible Sombra or something, but we see the Kiriko put down Kitsune Rush and then immediately fall over. We see Droid is able to find one as well onto the Doomfist, which they swap back over to. We're going to see who can keep this going for as well as they can. It seems like they're going for a little bit of a regroup, and they're already 75% of the way there. They have a little bit left to go. Alphabet is able to find one. A nice kill onto the Tracer there. Does get hacked. Again, that Sombra's just being a little bit of a menace in the background here. They're going to try their best to keep this one alive. And right now, all they really need to do is push it like, I don't know, another 20 meters, and this game might be over before the halfway mark is even done. Yeah, it's just looking like it's a total Ball State dominant performance. They're very good on push, and push is so fast. They're already near the end. It's barely been 4 minutes into the game. The High Noon is going to come out. Doesn't really get one with it. Whip manages to get off too, so that's pretty huge for them. It looks like we might start to see that back and forth thing that you talked about earlier where they're just going to push it back and forth until the 6-minute timer comes to the end. Ball State is literally like very close to the end. Sombra's alive. Honestly, yeah, you know, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I mean, look at where now all of a sudden NIU has to push it. That's going to take a while. While the robot does move fast when it's not pushing, here's the thing. Ball State, 1, has the halfway mark respawn, and 2, they have to now barely push it at all to get to the end. So if they end up getting one team fight when the robot's in that position, the game's just over. Yeah, it's just going to be so tough for NIU. It's going to just be this back and forth spiral that we see so often in push. They have all the work to do.
it's not that they don't have the time to do it, but they need to consistently be winning every single team fight from now on. If you lose one team fight, Ball State's going to push it back halfway across the map, and it's just they need to now win every single team. Well, essentially, not every single one, but very likely they're going to need to win most of the team fights in order to make this win anyway viable.
Yeah, and I think it looks like the Monkey is looking for Primal Rage here at any moment. We do see Lucio ult does come out. Allegro's able to find one on the Ghost there early on in this team fight, but there are a lot of ults in Ball State's back pocket if they choose to use them, although it doesn't necessarily seem like they're going to. We see the Primal Rage come out here. We're going to try and find one pick with it. It seems like the Lucio is the choice of person there, but the Boops are just able to take him away. And wow, if that was able to keep going, I mean, we might end up have seen a little bit of an aggressive Monkey there for a moment, but they'll try their best. Absolutely bullying Lucio. Winton absolutely bullying the Lucio there, just sending him halfway across the map as he wants to. But yeah, NIU still managing to push this thing, which is very impressive. They've reached the halfway mark, but they still have quite a while to go, and Ball State has 2 support ults to invest into the next team fight here. And while NIU also has 2 ults of their own, they're not support ults, and that's going to be tough. They did just use the Doomfist ult as well, so it's going to be tough for them to win this next team fight, I feel. Yeah, and right now we do see one ult come out, but it wasn't able to do too much, especially from that Doomfist, but as well as the Wu Yang. We see Kitsune Rush come out from 1. We see Goopy's able to find one on the Ghost there pretty early on in that fight. Droid's able to return the favor, same as Alphabet, but it does go even out as Goopy finds yet another one there. They're going to try and push this robot back and forth as much as they can, but it seems like the Monkey is going to fall as Droid is out of this fight as well. They've got to try and take out the squishies before they go for the Doomfist here, and they will try their best to do so, but right now it seems like we're going for that back and forth action yet again. We see Bordy just fall again here in this fight, and now we've come to this situation where there's not a lot of time left on the clock, but both sides are coming quite close to where each other need to be, and Ball State needs to put a stop to this before they get it past where they need to be. Yeah, so this is kind of the counteractive to that spiral that we were talking about, is that now all of a sudden NIU is not losing these team fights. They aren't necessarily, I wouldn't say they're winning them, but they're doing a really good job of sort of stalling things out, keeping themselves alive, keeping themselves on the robot. So any moment they have a chance, they're pushing it. And now they actually are almost where they need to be. So Ball State is going to need to find something here to really stop them from doing this. And it looks like this actually might be the moment that they might take the lead of this game. Yeah, it seems like they're going to get it. They're just trying to force them out of spawn. And while Ball State doesn't need to push it very far anymore, with time running low here, they're going to have to try and do a lot to push this one back. They found an early pick here, but it does seem like Bordy is quite low on health. Otta's able to find 1, Otta's able to find 2. They've got to keep it going to try and push this one back. Ghost is able to find 1 as well. There goes Bordy, and right now the Tracer seems to be running away, and Ball State's got to push this one back. They don't have to push it very far, but they've got to push it all the way back, and so they've got to get it past that halfway marker before they get contested again from the NIU team. So this is kind of an alternate scenario that you see a lot in push, where it's one team immediately gets it quite far off, and then all of a sudden another team comes out swinging, and they just have all this momentum and all these dominant performances, great ult usage and stuff to allow them to keep pushing it. And now Ball State actually has all the work to do. They have the time to do it, but it's going to be tough, especially after this these 2 picks that they just got. Yeah, they did find 1, but they were returned by 2 in return. I said turn a lot of times there. My name's Turner. They were able to find a few picks in that fight, and yet again, that's kind of setting Ball State again back to spawn here. And this is sort of what I was talking about in terms of like, okay, well, they got it there, but here's the problem. Now, because NIU came out of spawn and they won that following team fight, well, now all of a sudden Ball State's got to push it again and back to the middle if they want to try and contest it. So they'll try their best to do so, but right now it seems like they've just got to push this one as far as they can. If they got to do something now, they've got to get it past that halfway marker before they get a chance to do anything about it. And Droid, able to finding that first pick there early on, is a good sign that they're going to have the chance to do so. And with only 1:27 left on the clock, they've got to start working a little bit faster to push them back. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely heartbreaking for NIU if they do lose this. They managed to get the lead after basically they had all the work to do, and they managed to do it. Ball State really has to, what they really have to do is get it past this halfway point with most of their team alive, because they need to be in a good position to immediately win the next team fight after passing the halfway point. And it looks like they might be struggling to do that. They're trading picks, but NIU has more players alive right now. Yeah, but here's the important part. If they can try and get this past that halfway marker yet again, they will try their best to try and get that halfway marker again so they get that quick spawn, and it seems like that's what they did. So now Ball State, while some came out of the long spawn, a few of them are going to be able to come out of the quick spawn again. and Ball State is now put in a good spot to try and take this one back all the way. Primal Rays to try and discourage them to push a little bit further here, but now it seems like Ball State's going for a little bit of a regroup, and if they get this next team fight win again, they might be able to push it all the way to their spawn and shut them down, and that's what they're going to try and do their best here, and they did get it past that halfway marker, so their halfway respawn is shut down.
Yeah, this one is definitely going to be close. They have to win a lot of these next team fights. They cannot drop one with now almost 10 seconds remaining left. So they're going to need to stay on the robot as much as they can, and they're going to need some momentum here. It's halfway, right in the middle of the map, basically where it starts at. So they have all the work to do. Droid does manage to take out Hayes, and it looks like they're going to be able to push it, but now they cannot get off the robot or the overtime clock will fall to 0.
Yep, and that is a good late pick onto their I was about to say Reinhardt, onto their Doomfist right there, and so that is going to try and get them a little bit of time. They did get that halfway marker, but they are in overtime respawn as well, so they're going to try their best to keep this one going, and they're going to have to fight well. They do have 2 ults in their back pocket compared to only the ult from that Sombra, but as we've seen, that could make a big difference here. We do see one go out. Nothing is able to come from that stick. They're going to try and get into the back line here of the Doomfist. They've just got to push it all the way to the end. Otto's able to find one, but he is quite low on health. They lose Droid early on here, but Bordy is able to take out the tank of NIU. They're going to have to keep this one going. A few ults are coming in their backline. Alphabet finds one. They've got to go. They've got to go. Stay on the robot. It's pushing. It's pushing. If they get it past, they win. And yes, they do. Ball State takes the 3-0 sweep against NIU.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie. I did not think Ball State was going to win that game at the end there. I was, honestly, they won it when it mattered. That's what they did, and that's kind of what they do best here, is that when it mattered, when the team fight came that they needed to win the most, they did it, and they fought through that. It looked like NIU had it in the bag. They had managed to push it all the way. Ball State could not fight past their team fights. They were losing the fights that they needed to win, but somehow they managed to get it all the way back to the end and win it overall. Completes a Ball State sweep. And that's what you want to see from the reigning runner-up champs, hoping to take that crown this year.
Yeah, we see the straight face of Bordy, a man who just went through that game, and the straight face of Otta. How many more straight faces can we count? All right, that's 3. Can we switch to another?
Hey,
oh, no straight face.
smiling.
We got a smile. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen him not smile.
Hey, he's happy, and if he's happy, I'm happy.
I'm happy too.
And that's not. I don't think that's. I wouldn't count that a straight face. I don't know what I would count that.
I can't tell if he's happy or sad. I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie. I can't tell if he's like, yay, we won, or oh no.
Oh man,
wasn't a dominant enough win.
Yeah. Man, we didn't stop them. Oh, it's over.
Oh no, we didn't absolutely destroy them.
Yeah. But
GG's
anyways,
NIU.
yeah, good games all around.
Honestly,
yeah,
they put up a fight in those last 2 matches for sure. The first one was definitely total Ball State domination.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but they were just kind of getting back into their rhythm. It might have been a little bit since they've played. I don't know, like who they played last week, or not last week, last Tuesday, or not even. What am I saying?
Tuesday.
This Tuesday, yeah, Tuesday. 2 days ago, in fact, is the answer that I was looking for. But yeah. Looking for a lot of things here, a lot to adapt to. I know NIU, definitely with a few new players here, might be able to put up a different show than they did last time, especially in that ESC conference. So they'll try their best come the conference again. And I don't know if we play each other more than once. I think we might. With double headers every week, it's possible. I'm not sure how many people are in this ESC conference. I think there might be like 7 or 8 teams.
I believe there's 8 now. We lost 2. And surely with losing 2 and doubleheaders every week,
I think we're playing them multiple times.
We're going to play teams multiple times. I feel like we have to at that rate.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we're going to see them again, and let's see what's going to happen when we do. And I mean, if we don't, who knows? But yeah, I think it was definitely a really good game. Great stuff from Ball State. Great stuff from NIU too. They had really great moments. I mean, while we did say that Sombra might have been a comfort pick, there was moments where that Sombra was absolutely volatile. I mean, against the ball, it was absolutely huge. They had some amazing ults in that Surabasa match. So I think GG's to NIU. Great stuff from them as well. And I mean, to put up that much of a fight against the runner-ups, I think that that's huge for them. And I hope they have a good season going forward.
Okay, we're getting Bordy. That's great.
Oh,
I love me some Bordy.
Bordy.
Hello, Bordy. Yeah, welcome. How's it going? Okay, the mic is on, right?
It is on.
Okay, wonderful. If there's a green.
It was handed to me like this.
Okay, I can hear you, so you're good.
All right.
Well, welcome. I don't have any written down questions, but I did think of some during the game. Especially when it comes to game modes. What is your game mode preference?
I like Koth.
Okay.
I think Control is pretty cool because it's got a lot of health packs. And
Yeah.
Blink packs is just a crazy broken perk for Tracer, I think. So I really like Koth. Push is also pretty good. So.
Yeah. I know when it comes down to like push and stuff, what do you like? Our opinion on push is that it's a lot of like, I mean, it's pretty obvious that it's back and forth, but a lot of those games where it's like really tight at the end, like how do you play a game where you push it to the end, they push it to the end? What are you thinking when it comes down to like, how do we, because I know what we saw a few times was like, okay, we saw Monkey on front line, and then like the 3 or 4 of you just like sitting back looking for like the Sombra, like halfway away from the cart or the push.
Yeah, I mean, the real answer is that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
They should never be able to get the point.
Yeah.
They should never be able to take the lead in that situation.
Yeah.
It was a lot of like sloppy fights and fight planning on our end, and a lot of like bad coordination. So the solution kind of was just everyone needs to do the right thing.
Yeah.
We needed to have people going on our dive, but also marking the Tracer Sombra. It's a lot of timing as well.
Yeah.
So.
Well, speaking of doing the right things and people needing to do the stuff that they need to do, communication, I'm assuming, is very important to you guys. I mean, how important is communication, and how much do you guys make sure that you are communicating with each other so that things like that don't happen that often, essentially?
I mean, basically everyone has to tell us what they're doing. Like, there's a reason I'm the loudest one in here. Yeah, I'm sure you heard, or you do at least. Yeah.
I wish the stream could hear it. I don't know if the stream can. I think
they have.
They have?
Past,
Okay.
Yeah. But like everyone needs to, like, for Tracer, if you're playing like a Tracer Lucio off angle, it's like really important the team knows what I'm playing for. And a lot of the time it's like I'm not necessarily trying to win the duel, I'm just trying to stop them from getting my angle. And so like I convey that information to my team. I tell them what I need, if I need healing, if I need someone to look for a collapse on the angle. Everyone needs to like get that information, and everyone needs to give the information from what they're doing as well. So I mean, Overwatch is probably one of the more communicative games here that we play. So.
All right, I got one more for you personally.
Okay. I have one more as well.
Oh, you got one more?
Yeah. What does it feel like having Otto on the team now after being a coach?
That was one that I considered asking. I got one more.
I mean, I miss Yake.
Okay.
Yake's Lucio and my Tracer was just disgusting on the angle. There's a reason, like, it was so good that it was like one of the main things that we played for last year. So I miss Yakester a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
But Raymond's a good friend of mine, and I'm happy that he's, still here. And as well, Spencer graduated last year, but he's coaching now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of ideal because I get both of them. I'm not driving you home.
Hello.
Okay. It's kind of ideal because I get both of them. So it's nice. I like having Raymond on the team. I think there's some things to work out still.
Yeah. Is he in like the mindset of like coach still? Or?
No.
Okay.
It's Wu Yang just came out, and Raymond really enjoys playing that hero. He really enjoys shooting the gun a little bit more than he enjoys holding right click, which is a problem sometimes. So. But we'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, it's new. You got to figure out how to play them, but that's fair. You got one more?
All right, yeah, finally, just one real quick one. Perks, they've been in the game for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Now that they've been in the game for a while, they're a little less new. How are you feeling about them? I mean, you don't need to necessarily say like which perks you're using, but like, how do you feel about them as an addition? Do you think it made the game better, worse? And if you want, cover which ones you like to use.
I mean, I think perks were like an overall good idea. It really shook up the game a lot. I think recently they've been doing a better job of balancing around perks and the heroes being broken sometimes, which is good to see. And then obviously there are some like really broken perks. Like I think like one of Tracer's perks got a nerf. It was I can't remember the name. Quantum Entanglement, I think. Or no, Flashback. Sorry. It gave you all 3 blinks back whenever you would recall. Now it only gives you 2, which small nerf, but impactful. Blink packs is just also broken. You get a blink every time you hit a health pack. So you can blink into a health pack, get the health, and then you have your blink still, which isn't really fair, but that's fine. Yeah. And then like a bunch of other heroes have really good perks. Like Ram's E had a perk where you could detonate it mid-air by pressing E again. And along with that, it came a bug that would make it so that anyone that got caught in the explosion would be immediately slowed to basically 0 for like the first quarter second that they were in it. And that was cool. I was a big fan of that, obviously. But yeah, so like I think they're good. There's some issues with them, but that's to be expected. It's a live game. And you take the good with the bad for sure, but I think it's moving in the right direction. I think for sure.
Okay. Well, I'm out of questions. I don't know about you. Are you out of questions?
I'm also out of questions.
All right. Well, then we are going to go ahead and call it there. I appreciate you all for coming out. Thank you, Bordy, for showing up here. Always love to see it. And we will go ahead and see you, I believe, next Tuesday is our earliest. I think we have more Overwatch, followed by, again, Rocket League, followed by more Overwatch. We got doubleheaders every week coming at you, 3 games total. And look out in the near future. We are also going to have some club streams, so we're going to have some rivals. We might have some CS. We might have some Smash Bros coming at you a little bit here. So we'll have a few things planned. We've got everything ready to go, and hopefully we will see you all there. So thank you all for showing up, and we hope you have a fantastic night.
Good night.